Hello, everyone. It has been a little bit of time. My name is Coffee Brown, and this channel is Coffee Brown is Expat Bound to France. So I'm going to start off with just a little bit of an apology here because I don't know if you can hear it, but I've got my fire alarm is chirping a little bit here, and right now I cannot get to it. I don't know where my ladder is. It's somewhere probably outside. It's really cold, and I just really don't want to deal with running around trying to find a ladder. At some point, I will find it. At some point, it will be fixed. Number two, I just am going to keep my music going because I'm kind of wanting to hear some music. I think it is the noise is suppressed, but if not, I'll try to take it out before I upload. So I'm going to just give you an update on what's been happening as far as everything with me moving and things like that. Um, it was 1 year ago yesterday, New Year's Eve, that I created this channel. And I created it because I was just at this point in my life where I just said to myself, I want to make some changes. I wasn't happy. Um, I just felt like I was kind of stagnant. I was a little bit fearful because I knew we had this new administration coming up. Um, and with this regime change, I wasn't feeling really comfortable or confident that I was going to be wanting to stay in this country for very much longer. Hence the name, which I've actually changed a few times. I'm going to ask that you like, subscribe, and hit that the button there for what is it? It's coming to me. The reminder button, the notifications. That's it. Sorry. So that every time I upload a video, you will get an update. So I was in France when you last heard from me, and I was just kind of getting the lay of the land. I had to take my videos down for a personal reason. Some of them down for France. Ended up not being able to put them back up. And then, I was just like, it's now getting kind of late in the year. Some things had happened getting into the end of the year because I really thought I was going to be applying for France. And I'm just going to kind of give you an update because I am still in the process of this whole France thing. But a few things had happened. I got back. I started a job like very quickly. And I just did not have time. So I already had one job. I work evenings from like 6 to 9 p.m. I'm on East Coast time. And then I started I got a contract for a job that was coming up in November as well. And so I was preparing for that job during the daytime. I'm trying to write up my business plan and get myself ready to put in for this application for my visa for France. And as it turned out, um, I I went to I set up my consulate, I paid all the fees and went to the consulate, or to the agency that's the third party agency they hire to the French consulate hires. Because you don't go to the French consulate, you go to this third party agency, which is the TLS contact, and you submit this long application. You have to pay all this money. And so I did that. And in the meantime, I'm getting ready for this big contract that was coming up. And then, like I said, I had been to France and whatnot. So somewhere in all of this happening, I 3 days before I was supposed to start my big contract, I am a technical trainer, and so I have cohorts. And 3 days before the cohort started, my aunt, who has been a mother to me my entire life, she had a stroke and she passed away unexpectedly, very suddenly, before I had a chance to tell her about my whole French trip and everything. I was a mess. And I just really, and the same time, my visa was denied, and it was denied not for any particularly bad reason, but because France has like instituted this whole way of doing the visa process now that has changed. And all of this was happening all at the same time when I'm trying to get ready for this cohort. My aunt doesn't live here. She lives in the South. She's in Texas. And there's a lot of family stress because it was so unexpected. Uh, and So I'm dealing with that. My cohort started like 3 days later. Um, and I was very broken. And my cohort, I had to be very frank with them about what was going on because it's very difficult for me to teach and train these people when I have so much going on. My day class goes all day. I literally have seconds to get to my night cohort. I had no time. And now we're going into the holidays and we laid her the rest on the 29th of November, which was also my sister's birthday, one of my sister's birthday. So it was just terrible time. And I just mentally was not in a good place. And trying not to cry now. She was just everything. Like she was the mother. I mean, my own mother was not a really great mother, not a great, not good at all. Um, and I just never had like a real mother. And she's the one that took interest in me and gave me the attention that I needed and helped me to not be ashamed of who I am, which is just a Black female, but my mother just really had, she's from the South and lighter skinned, and she just had this, I think, hatred towards me and maybe one of my other sisters. Um, and it just was very prevalent through my childhood. And it wasn't until I met my aunt and then was able to start spending some time with her towards the end of my childhood that I started feeling like I had like a female mother role model, someone that loved me, that made me want to love myself, and someone I knew I could turn to, someone I could tell all my secrets to. Anyway, so she has passed away. I was able to get to the funeral because one of my other sisters paid for me to go to the funeral, which I'm very thankful for because I needed to be able to say goodbye because I know I'd never be at her house again, which also brings me a lot of sadness. I'm thankful that I was able to see her about a year before she passed away. I went down there, I spent time with her, I was helping her. She had her own health issues. So many things were going on with her, and she has a big family, and I just assumed that things were being taken care of and found out later on they weren't. So makes it a lot worse. Anyway, so all of that has passed. Now I'm understanding that France has a new visa process. It started in June, but they didn't start enforcing it until literally November. And I applied in November. And people who applied in October, they were able to bring their business plans in, attach it to their visa, and immediately within 3, 4 days, just that turnaround time was quick. I did the same thing and mine was rejected because they were like, nope, you have to go through this whole process. So there are several buckets, and I'll discuss this coming up in an upcoming video. If you are looking to go to France, there's a specific way that you need to apply, and you are going to be in one of several different buckets, not a lot of them, as far as how you can get a visa to move to France. And so I had to go through this whole process now of applying online and uploading a lot of information into this portal and really working through a business plan, which in the last week or so, I decided to do all in French. I am not French. I do not know French. And so I had to do everything going through two different LLMs and just like really like, because even the entire application for this part is in French. And so I don't know French. It's just a nightmare. And so going through all this, I'm not even sure if they're going to approve the business because that's what I had to do is I had to get my business approved before leaving. Whereas before, you could just go there and with your business plan, and then you would go through the process there. Now they want you to do it away from the country, like in your own country. Get the approval first, then take that approval and bring it to the consulate or to the third party people and do the application for the visa and then send that to the consulate. And then the consulate will still decide whether or not you get to come and live in France. So I said to myself, this is a lot of work. And am I going to continue to try to reapply over and over? No, because I don't have that kind of money because it was like almost $600 because I also did the earliest morning visa application process. So like you can pay $80 for this early morning appointment. And I was just like, well, I'm trying to work and I just don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this earliest morning thing. And so I did that and paid the $80 and then paid all this money and it was rejected. You don't get your money back. They're just going to keep it. And so I have to do that again. So can I afford to do 3 times? No, I really can't. So if that doesn't work, then my only options left is to choose another country. So I'm going between 3 countries, which is the Netherlands, Spain, and Greece. All 3 of them have their positives. All 3 of them have their negatives. I'm not sure which one would be first off my list. It would depend. If it would be Greece or Netherlands, they're both kind of side by side, and Spain is probably third. Now, I'm going to just put it out there for all of you. If you're looking to get out of the country and you have a business that you can take with you remote, the fastest way that you can do it is to apply most likely to Spain. And here's why. If you want to go to Spain and work in Spain, and you have a contract, you need to have at least 1 year as a digital nomad, have a 1 year contract. You can immediately pack your bag, get a tourist visa for like 90 days and fly to Spain. When you get to Spain, you can just ask for a 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year, up to 3 year visa to stay in Spain. And they will grant it automatically, depending on the length of your contract. So if you get a 3 year contract and we have 3 years left in this administration and you got to get out now and you want to go to Europe and you just are like, I don't want to go, just don't want to be in this country anymore. Why not think about going to Spain? Are you picky or you just want to get out? You have a digital nomad job, go to Spain. Spain is cheaper than France. So you can definitely find a place if you play your cards right and you look around really well. You can go into an Airbnb for, I'd say, 2-3 months. And then while you're doing that, look for a place to live and live within your means. And you will find a place 500, 600 euro per month for a small 1 bedroom, and you could live comfortably and healthy, be very healthy. Okay, so that's my suggestion to you. If you're like, look, I'm not picky, I just want to get out, Spain. Okay, so for me, I'm not like Spain's not first on my list. Just because I want to go to France. The taxes there are much, much higher. It'll be about 30% or so of my income is going straight to taxes every year. and um, that I had to figure out what I'm gonna do because that's a lot of my money. However, it's going towards social programs, it's going towards my pension. And what I do like about France is that within 10 years, if you work in France for 10 years and you are a tax-paying resident, in 10 years, you can retire, minimum of 10 years. So you have to work at least 10 years and then you can retire. And I believe the minimum that you'll make if you're putting into the system the correct amount of money full time, the minimum you'll make per year, I think, is like about 900 euro. And that's not a lot, but that's if you're making what they call the SMIC or the SMIC, SMIC, which is like the minimum income that you can make in France and live in France and be okay with. And the French will be okay with you living here. And that's about 25,000 euro. So if you're making 25,000 euro per year and then you work for 10 years, which I'm sure you're not going to be making, yeah, I'm sure you're going to be making more than that. You're going to get in 10 years, you can be like, I'm going to retire. You'll make at least $917. They'll take taxes from that. But you also get to keep your Social Security. So whatever you paid into Social Security in the United States, you get to keep. And France does not tax your US like pensions and IRAs and like your retirement plans. They don't tax that. What they tax is your working. Okay. So these are things for you to think about. Now, I'm going to ask you to join me throughout my adventure as I, number one, see how my application's going because I finally finished it today. When I thought I was going to be able to just rip through that whole process of uploading and getting uh my my business plan uploaded to the web or to the website for the French people because you have to upload it to a French website which is in France and they don't speak English in France. So you have to start thinking, you gotta do this in French and it has to be correct. Um, so if you are going to do that, go that route, it is going to be more than you just saying, I'm going to slap together a business plan and throw it up there. Everything has to make sense and it's very specific on how you have to do it. So I did a lot of internet research in order to figure out how to do it. You're going to have to do a lot of research and I can definitely point you in the correct direction. But you have to know how to write up a business plan. If you don't know how to write up a business plan, you're going to have to get somebody to help you write up a business plan. Hire somebody to help you write up a business plan. And this business plan has to be done to their specifications. And they have a lot of specifications. And I kept finding out more and more specifications as I was going in there. And it had to like turn around and pull out everything, like delete everything I'd done and then redo it another way. And so I started to say, I'm just going to slow this down and I'm not going to rush because if I rush, this is going to be a mess. And so the amount of times that I've had to delete things and then redo it and then re-upload it and then find out the next day after doing a little bit more research that that was not quite correct or it could be better if I do this or that. That took a lot of work. And so it has taken me almost a week of nonstop all day from, I would say, like maybe about 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning till about 10 to 11 o'clock at night, depending, with breaks because I'd walk the dogs or, gotta eat or whatever. I just need to get up and stretch because I'm tired. I'm sitting here, but just writing and revising and calculating and pulling together contracts. And you have to have concrete proof of your income. Concrete. No, this is just for if you're doing it my way, which is I'm opening up a business. If you're a retiree or a student, it's a lot easier. But if you're opening up a business, it gets real hard. I will talk you through this. So I'm going to leave that for now as what I'm as what all I'm going to talk about for today for this video. But I did want to update people and just let them know what's going on because I've just been inactive for so long. I have a lot that I want to kind of walk through, but I don't want to make my videos really long. So I will say that coming up in my next videos, I'm going to start to talk you through, like, if you are going to go to France, what does it really take? And so follow me. So I'm going to ask you again, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and you want to hit that notification bell to know this time what it's called, so that every time I upload something, you'll get something. I do plan to be more regular with it. I got to figure out how, because I now have two jobs now. I work all day, and that goes until 6 o'clock. And then I turn around, and then at 6 o'clock, I work my evening job until 9 o'clock. And there's a whole thing that's going on with that I'd like to share with you on how it helps me as far as getting to France and having the income that they're going to be asking for. So, um, until then, I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I hope that your 2026 turns out to be a wonderful year that helps you where you actually can achieve whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. You can seek the peace that I know that you're looking to seek. And if you're looking to move abroad, hope you get to move abroad this year as well. All right. So I'm going to get going. But again, my name is Coffee Brown, and this channel is Coffee Brown, Expat Bound to France. So join me as I walk you through my journey, and hopefully this will help you in your journey. All right. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in 2026. Bye.